All right, welcome everyone to Space Grand Challenge. Woohoo! My name is
Woo!
Henry. This is Laura, and this is Ginny. But we're gonna have them introduce themselves today, kind of like that Reddit. I am a MODA, a mother-daughter space cyber team. Oh my God, hats off. Oh my goodness, Henry shaved his head. Oh geez, was okay. Focus. Here we go. Here we go, people. We also have satellites and fun stuff, and Space Force and all kinds of crazy stuff. So, first of all, we're going to start off with Mom there. What is your name and your current focus in the cybersecurity and space industry?
Okay. Thanks for inviting us, Henry. We're always excited about, your projects that you do. That is awesome. So my name is Laura Chappell, and a lot of people associate me with Wireshark training. I focus on network analysis, picking up the packets and analyzing their contents. And in the areas of space comms, Ginny and I have done some training on the bundle protocol, which is used in space communication, and the Licklider protocol as well, also used for space comms. And we belong, along with Henry, to a group called IPN-SIG, which is the Interplanetary Networking Special Interest Group, along with some really amazing people, including the guy that wrote the bundle protocol. So that's the area.
Yay, Laura. Okay, dun, dun, dun. Ginny, you're up. Daw from MODA,
Hey,
mother daughter. Sorry.
second half, yeah. So I am a cyber threat intelligence analyst. I work in critical national infrastructure, and seeing as space is increasingly seen as critical national infrastructure, that's very relevant. And also just for funsies, working on space stuff is very cool. And IPN-SIG has let us see more of the process for standardizing space communications, as well as some of the cool projects using those same technologies on Earth.
Whoa, Daddy. Did everybody just hear that? What? That was awesome. All right, so I'm going to throw it out and see who goes first. Can you tell us a deep space story?
A deep space story.
Dun, dun, dun.
Well, I'll tell you who is the best with the deep space story is going to be Vint. He's got an amazing story about the early days of space exploration and how the power that we had on one of our exploration devices, the power wasn't strong enough to get a signal back to Earth. But I think one of the most interesting things happening in space right now, one of the stories that I think a lot of people out there may not have delved into deeply enough, is what's going on with Voyager 1 and Voyager 2 right now. And I mean, it is absolutely incredible what's going on. And yes, there have been some issues there. At times we lose connectivity with Voyager 1 and Voyager 2, but the fact that we've got these man-made items and they're outside of our solar system and still communicating back to us, and we're still able to do some control of them and communicate with them, it's just unbelievable. And I know you can go online. And I think, Henry, didn't we spend a little time finding a website that was the golden record? And it
Yes, the
went through
golden
the
record.
contents
Yes.
of the
All
gold.
Space Grand Challenge cybernauts should look up the golden record. Man, just life-changing.
Yes. But imagine if we sent it out today. It'd probably be so depressing and stuff. They'd probably go, oh, we're never going to go to that planet. No
Another
aliens would come
cool
visit us.
thing, last time I was at JPL, they had one and it was on display, and I was like kind of twitching and getting spacey, if you will. Ginny, what do you like about the Space Grand Challenge?
I just think it's wonderful that people are interacting with space right away. It seems like something that is often a far off field for experts in basements, but it is something that is relevant to everyone. The technologies we develop for space are really useful for Earth and let us understand our universe more. So really, it's kind of aspirational and also the perfect time to get into this stuff. And that's a fun way to do it.
Yeah, I think we're living in such a beautiful time with zeros and ones. And I still, to my day, thinking about how wireless work blows my mind. Or just a radio when you're cruising in your car and can still hear FM, AM radio. I don't know. Radio is just still blows my mind. Okay, this one's going to just get Laura so excited. How do you think AI, artificial intelligence, and ML, machine learning, will be used in deep space networks?
Okay, I think it's going to be so incredibly important. If you look at the idea of putting a habitat on Mars, and you factor in that it takes from 5 to 20 minutes to get a signal from Mars to Earth, we cannot wait for decisions to be made and round trip all of our communications and questions about things that are happening on Mars. We're going to have robots on Mars that are doing the research, doing the decision making, doing the actual troubleshooting and everything else. It's going to have to be done remotely. We're not going to be able to live with that 5 to 20 minute timeline. And of course, that's when things are good. We have conjunction that takes place where we're on the other side of the sun from Mars, and that can, delay things quite a bit as well. So we're not going to be able to take that. So we're going to have the intelligence there to do everything that needs to be done. And then as we move forward, going to other planets, we're not going to be able to have a habitat on that planet. So we're going to have to send a robot to go and actually explore the planet and do everything there on that planet. It's going to have to gather its own information there and make its own decisions about what to learn next and what to research next. And I think that's going to be fascinating. Of course, I just can't even wait until Artemis, till we get our habitat on the moon, and then we launch from there. I think it's going to be incredible.
So both quick questions for both of you. If Henry talks to someone at a large company that flies to the moon and back in another 6 years, would both of you go to the moon?
I would absolutely. You have to, right?
Yeah, I know I originally said I wouldn't, but I would, as long as they can knock me out during the whole takeoff part and probably the landing part and maybe the middle part too.
Okay. So you guys are in. If I can make that happen, we could take a little snippy trip up there.
You've got a guy?
I might.
You got a guy.
I know some peeps. I know some people. So
yeah.
Okay, Ginny, back to you. How would you generally recommend securing space assets or satellites? Little technical. Sorry about that.
No, that's fine. I think that because of the nature of space, that you put something up and you don't expect it to come back down for a very long time, if all goes according to plan. You have to have a really long-term vision of space. And that comes down to, what is your architecture? What is your plan to build out your network? What is your control of processes at your ground stations? There are all of these things where you need to invest in that long-term commitment to security in your processes, your technologies, forward security, so perfect forward secrecy. Every level needs to be addressed, but mostly it's thinking 30 to 100 years ahead.
Isn't that crazy? And I think in early on days, we didn't have that thought. But our satellites are still out there. And I still can't believe how many are still functioning and zipping around, 10,000 miles an hour. It's just absolutely crazy. Okay, so Laura, in a small amount of time, generally, what is the delay tolerant network and bundle protocol? What do those heavy words mean?
Well, the delay tolerant network is basically a network that allows us to communicate with objects out in space down here to Earth. And we have, of course, the 3 satellites. If you go to eyes.nasa.gov, bottom left-hand corner, you can actually go and see to whom we are talking right now in the Deep Space Network. And we have the 3 big locations on Earth where we have these big antennas listening and transmitting data. The bundle protocol is the protocol that we use that offers our store and forwarding process for getting data towards Earth, always using the split horizon capability of going towards Earth or going towards the target out in space. And that bundle protocol understands how to do opportunistic transfer of data. So something comes from the surface of Mars, some data, some amazing pictures or scientific research results or something from a robot. And it comes up to the satellite, and the satellite holds onto it until it has an opportunity to transmit it, forward it on to the next satellite. And the next satellite holds it. And then it has maybe a determined time that it's going to run across another satellite, not run across, but you know what I mean. Be in proximity of another satellite where it can forward it on. It keeps forwarding until it gets to Earth. So it's very different than standard TCP IP communications. And because it's done this way, you really only need error checking between the surface of Mars and the first satellite. We're going to error check that data as it gets that far. And then once it's that far, we can drop it off of our hard drives on the surface of Mars because we know it's on its way and we no longer have to hold these big amounts of data. And that's important because the satellites don't have a lot of hard drive space. They need to take that chunk of data, forward it on, error check. Yes, it got there. Now I can drop it and I'm ready for the next amount of data. So it's a very clever protocol.
Just that baseball glove waiting to catch, drop the ball and go.
Awesome. That's right.
So thank you very much. All right. So favorite hack, Ginny, of 2023. Kind of crazy. What was one of the fun ones that you kind of thought was interesting?
I think the Move It transfer hack from last year was pretty wild. The mass exploitation of this really common third-party tool, where by its nature, it was used for transferring sensitive files, and it was often internet exposed. So when it turned out that there were like 3 critical vulnerabilities, it was wild to see that exploited. It actually got 3 of the big 4 consultancies all across the world. Companies were affected, and seeing how that was treated really showed how third-party security is changing and how that needs to be considered going forward. We now consider file transfer tools like that to be really high risk.
Awesome. Good one. Thank you. All right. Laura, what was your favorite hack from 2023?
Oh, well, it's got to be the MGM Resorts hack. I'm sorry. Just the stories that came out of that where people, it's this ransomware attack, the Black Cat ransomware gang, and people couldn't even get their doors open in the MGM Resort. You had to have somebody going along and validating who these people are and letting them into their rooms. They couldn't do the ATMs didn't work. They couldn't do so many things, and it was amazing. They have this whole interconnected network there, and they can't control any of it. And I thought that was absolutely fascinating. And of course, then it went from MGM, it went over to Caesars Entertainment was the next one on the list. But wow, I thought that was really fascinating that it shows the potential problem of having things so interconnected with a centralized system, with the inability to split it off so that some of it can live while the other part is held ransom. I thought that was really fascinating.
Yeah, and I think it's not even a power outage. I mean, to me, that would be another way. Earthquake, something happens, natural disaster, everything's done. No, this is the power's on, folks. We hacked you, and your whole system does not work. So yes, a really good one. I'm glad you brought that one up, and I think it's just really interesting. All right, last question. So if you could share one piece of advice, how do you keep your data secure? Let's start out with Ginny. How do you keep your data secure, Ginny, so hackers don't get you?
If I could just use one piece of advice, I feel like it's the thing that a lot of security professionals yell constantly. Please use a password manager. Please. You will make better passwords. You will make more unique passwords, and it will just make life easier. So you can have both worlds. Yeah, using a password manager. You will never want to go back.
Awesome. Totally agree. 2 thumbs up, 3 thumbs up. If I had another thumb, I'd extra.
Yes.
Laura, what about you?
Oh, I have to agree with Ginny. Definitely password manager is number 1. But coming from the world of packet level communications, it's also a matter of grab your own traffic sometime when your machine is not doing anything. You're not logged into anything at the moment. You're just letting your machine, you just booted it up and then start out Wireshark, start capturing your own traffic. And just get so that you feel comfortable with what the background traffic is, so that you recognize all the applications on your system that phone home and where they phone home to, and maybe even use a little geo-IP mapping to figure out where these things are going. I mean, some of the interesting apps out there do interesting things. So
yeah, a lot of times you find out your, I don't know, special doorbell is doing some calls out to some very interesting websites that you can go follow or look on Shodan and take it. So cool. Well, again, a short and sweet. This was so fun to have you today's guests. And thank you, by the way, these 2 humans always write the Wireshark challenges. So we're going to give them a two-side shake of the fist up here in the top. And congratulations again. Thank you so much for coming today and helping us always with Space Grand Challenge. Please take a look at Chappell University, as well as take a look at space and how cybersecurity works. And thank you again for your time today. We love you from Space Grand Challenge and all the way from here to Mars. Have a great day today and take it easy on yourself and stay safe out there and secure. Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks.